So I totally understand why Carlos said what he said. When he said Melody and Martell can be single until the end of time. They started the foundation along with Marceau, Kimmy, Tisha, and Maurice. And at the end of the day, if you want to be on Love and Marriage Huntsville, DC, or any city God blesses us with, you're going to have to follow the same narrative of you have to do whatever it takes to give your real life, because that's the only way you're going to have staying power on the show. I couldn't agree more. For me, Melody and Martell are the face of Love and Marriage Huntsville. When you think of Love and Marriage Huntsville or Love and Marriage, period, you think of Melody and Martell. Well, now Melody Cherie, but you definitely, those two people come to mind. And of course, the other four come to mind as well. But initially, you think of those two. Same thing with Real Housewives of Atlanta. If I say Real Housewives of Atlanta, who you thinking of? Nene, Kenya, Candy. Like, it's some people that you just, Sheree, Kim, like no matter who comes in and out, no matter if they're on their first season or 10th season, it's just some people that you're just always going to remember, that's going to stick out. Same thing with Basketball Wives, Shawnee, Evelyn, Tammy. So I get when Carlos says that it's those two, for the most part, they'll never be fired or whatever, because Martell had came to Carlos and thought he was going to get fired from the show once him and Melody divorced. He thought because, that's what usually happens in these cases. You no longer see the man, but, because, and Carlos addressed that. Carlos said, why would you be off the show? And Martell said, because ain't that what happens when people divorce? The men, they leave, they get fired. And then Carlos said, no, we want to follow the continuation of your real life. And that's what I mean by that. So yes, even though Melody and Martell divorced, we were interested in seeing how they navigated the divorce, how they navigated co-parenting. And like I said, it's pretty relatable. A lot of people come from divorce backgrounds. Do we like to see it? No, we absolutely hate it. We wish that marriages and relationships could stay together forever. That is the goal or whatever. But at the same time, life be lifing. And I realize no matter how many self-help books you read, no matter what you do, life just be happening to the best of us. And I really feel like that is how we grow, how we overcome. Sometimes life don't go down that fairy tale pathway that you had in mind, the fairy tale inside the color inside the lines kind of lifestyle. So I appreciate what Carlos is saying, and I also appreciate the six for who they are and what they bring to the cast. As long as those core people are there, I think we still could always have a show. We can definitely alternate and put Stormy here and put Destiny there and Tiffany there, but as long as the core six are there, I feel like we have a show. People have talked about not wanting to see Tisha, and they feel like Tisha time is done and get Marceau off the show, but in a way I feel like they make the show as well too. They have their part to play as well. So I would still want to see them on the show. I'm just used to them six. I'm sorry, I just am. Even though they be annoying at times. Like, all of them can, everybody got their favorites or whatever. So I get it, but definitely keeping the core, Melody and Martell, they kind of are Love and Marriage Huntsville when you think about it. Now, that's just my opinion. Who do you think of when you hear the word Love and Marriage Huntsville? What initially comes to mind? Who initially comes to mind when you hear Love and Marriage Huntsville? And that's how come I feel like they can be fired too. But I also feel like it is room for a spinoff show. It really is. For Melody, because if she's really done with trying to be friends with Tisha and the rest of the group, because people say that. They feel as though if Tisha and Melody hug and kiss and make up, everybody else will fall in line. But their beef is so strong that it's just making things very uncomfortable for the rest of the cast, And that's why for me, the core six is the truth. I like when they're together. I like when they're eating together and breaking bread together. I do like it. But like I said, I know Melody isn't feeling it, and she's justified in feeling that way. If I was bullied in the way that she was bullied and gaslighted in the way that she was gaslighted, and people talked about my reputation and trying to make it seem like I was doing something outside of my vows, I wouldn't want to be a part of this group either, because even when you're mad at somebody, if you really love them, you don't want to hurt them. You're not trying to like get them to the white meat, because we can say a bunch of stuff about people, but because the love is there that keeps you from going too hard. And I feel like Melody probably feels like they're at a point of no return. She's at a point of no return with this group. She has no solace, nobody that really has her back like she will want them to keep her in the group. You know what I'm trying to say? Martell, the one she actually said vows to, disrespected her. So what more can you do? And especially if it's messing with her mental health. I don't care. The show can cancel if it's going to mess with her mental health or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, don't sit up there and entertain us at the expense of like your mental health. Nobody, no reality TV show, none of that. I can sit up there and read a book. So don't feel like you need to, people, if you're like a reality star watching this, don't feel like you need to put it all out there if it's going to hurt you. That's what's most important. We're going to be okay. Our life's not on display. So that's just something I want them to consider as well. But let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye.
Met Synquette, man, the girl was heaven sent. Met Synquette, man, the girl was heaven sent.